Welcome to the Royal Calcutta Turf Club for the Calcutta Races Auto Meeting 5th day, Thursday 28th November 2024 race preview. The day for our first classic, the 1000 Guineas. The first race of the afternoon is the Liberty Handicap for horses rated 1 to 26 to be run over a distance of about 1200 meters. We got a field of 11 going to purse for the first race. The first runner we're looking at is Angel Light. This is from race number 6 in the current season. This was on the monsoon track where Angel Light took the turn in 11th spot and made a couple of placings. As you can see towards the inside, it eventually finished on 9th of 11 runners. The winner here was Saranaika. Angel Light today the mount of Arman Khan, who's by Angel Light is by Sedgefield out of Run with the Spirit. Number 2 is Emperor Ashoka, who had a start in each of the 4 race days we have had so far. Nothing to speak about those 4 starts for Emperor Ashoka. 5th place effort in race number 3, then 11th in race number 12. In race number 15 finished on 8th. Last race Emperor Ashoka took the turn in 10th spot, made up a placing and eventually finished on 9th spot out of 12 runners. Number 3 is I Smell the Danger, who had 4 starts during the monsoon season, including a 4th place effort to start the season in race number 9. Since then has had 3 unplaced effort, including the run we are looking at, which is from race number 63, where I Smell the Danger took the turn in 8th spot, then dropped back when asked for an effort, finished on 2nd last of 12 runners. The winner here was Over the Line. We are looking at race number 19, where we had 6 runners which are taking part in this race again. We had Trebia, who was the favourite in this race, was travelling in 3rd spot for most while, then came up with a run but couldn't really catch on to Eagle's Flight, who had a useful lead, and Trebia did the next best thing, finished on 2nd. We had Happy Morning, who took the turn in 9th spot, eventually dropped back and finished on last of 10 runners. Sunflare, who took the turn in 5th spot, then started to backpedal, eventually finished on 9th. And we had Honey Cake, who was in a forward position, was matching strides with the runaway leader Eagle's Flight, then dropped back slightly, eventually finished on 4th. We had number 8 Magnite, who took the turn in 6th spot, made up a placing and finished on 5th eventually. And lastly we had 11 Calcutta, who eventually finished on 6th. Number 9 is Tiger Blood, who had a couple of stars during the monsoon season and a start on the monsoon track in the current season in race number 2, where Tiger Blood took the turn in 6th spot, eventually finished on 6th. The winner here was Lightning Charlie. Tiger Blood today the mount of P. Uday Kiran. Sangeeta, this is from the current season in race number 7, where Sangeeta took the turn in last spot, did not really have any impression in the race, finished on a detached last. Sangeeta since then has had a mock race, and Sangeeta today the mount of R. Shella. We move on to the second race of the day, the Simply Sensational Handicap for horses rated 21 to 46, rated 1 to 26, eligible to be run over a distance of about 2000 meters. First up, we're looking at a couple of runners. We got Oremello and number 2 Jazara. This is from race number 16, where Oremello was in 8th spot, made some late gains and eventually finished on 5th. Jazara, who was on a start to finish mission, as you can see towards the left of your screen, then dropped back into the last 100 meters and eventually just missed out on the place money, finished on 4th. The winner here was Oh My Sweetheart, who eventually had about 3.5 lengths to spare on the second place start. Oremello the mount of R. Vaibhav and Jazara the mount of Anthony Raj S. Number 3 is Monarchy. Monarchy had a start in the current season on the monsoon track on race number 6, where Monarchy was in 10th spot, stayed on in 10th. The winner here was Saranaika. Monarchy again the mount of Arman Khan. Monarchy is by Excellent out of Goldilocks. Number 4 is No Worry, a son of Dali out of LA Blue. And the run we are looking at is from the current season in race number 12, where No Worry was in 6th spot, started to really move late into the race and came out and finished on third in the place money. The winner here was Aero Pelli, who had about a distance to spare on the second place horse. No Worry again, the mount of Imran Chisti. Number 5 is Banksy. Banksy had a start in race number 7, the one we are looking at, where it was in 4th spot as they entered the home straight, then came up late in the race and eventually finished on 3rd, about 8 lengths behind the winner, which was Elite and Banksy today, the mount of Hindu Singh. Finally, we got number 6 Balance. This is from the previous season, the run we are looking at from race number 160, where Balance was a little slowly out of the gates, was in 4th spot as they entered the home straight and eventually finished on 4th. The winner here was Normitzi. Balance, the mount of P. Trevor. Balance is by Ampere out of the Way to Ride. Moving on to the third race of the hour from the Cameron Handicap for horses rate 61 to 86, rate 41 to 66, eligible to be run over a distance of about 1200 meters. First up, we're looking at Dundee Satyagraha. This start is from the current season, where Dundee Satyagraha, this was his third start Dundee Satyagraha had in first race. Finished on 4th, and race number 11 finished on 4th again. This race was a little slowly out of the gate, was in 5th spot. This was in race number 24, where Dundee Satyagraha went over 1600 meters. Eventually Dundee Satyagraha finished on 5th. The winner here was Chopin. Couple of runners, Dali Swirl and Dr. Doom. Dali Swirl was racing in 3rd spot. This is from race number 18 in the current season, where Dali Swirl then came up with a run and eventually finished on 2nd. Number 5, Dr. Doom, who was in 4th spot for most while, eventually finished on 4th. The winner here was Global Influence, who won rather impressively. Number 3 is Kalahari Gold. Kalahari Gold had 4 stars during the last winter season. Started the season with a win in race number 6, then had 3 placed effort in race number 66, finished on 3rd. Race number 99 finished on 3rd again. Last race, the one we are looking at, is race number 164, where Kalahari Gold was on a start to finish mission. Eventually was overhauled by La Dominant and finished on 2nd, the mount of Arul JH. Couple of runners. This is All-Time Legend and Clever Hans. All-Time Legend has already been a winner in this season in race number 8. Last start was looking good into the last 200 meters. Looked like he's going to finally pull it off and complete a back-to-back double, but Australia and Suraj Naidu had other ideas. All-Time Legend just finished on 2nd by a short neck, and Clever Hans, who was racing in the wrong end of the field, started to really warm up very late into the day and finished on 3rd. Clever Hans was a little slowly into stride as well. Number 7 is Divine Thoughts, who summered in Pune, had 4 starts over there, had a 2nd place effort. The run we are looking at is from the previous Calcutta winter season in race number 154, where Divine Thoughts was on a start to finish mission and into the last 200 meters tried to have an impression in the race, but all it could do was finish on 2nd. The winner was far too good for Divine Thoughts, who's the mount of S. Sakleen today. Moving on to the 4th race of the afternoon, the RWITC Cup, the supporting feature of the day for horses rate 81 and above, rated 61 to 86, eligible to be run over a distance of about 1400 meters. We are looking at 3 runners. First up, from race number 4, we had Blackstone, Gazino and Sea Line. Blackstone is definitely your eye catcher, was in 2nd spot, then took charge. This was run on the monsoon track, and Blackstone won eventually by a neck, beating second place horse, which was Clifford, and the other runners, Gazino, who was racing in 4th spot, dropped back and finished on 5th, and Sea Lion, who was leading the pack but then dropped back and eventually finished on 4th. Number 2 is Buckley. Buckley has had a win on this season already in race number 11, where Buckley was in 2nd spot, was chasing Wonderful, then took charge into the last 200 meters and absolutely blew them away, and Buckley won that day very impressively. Today the mount of Yash Naredu is Buckley. Number 3 is Siege Perilous. Couple of stars in the monsoon season without any hope. Siege Perilous had 2 wins during the winter season, so definitely a winter horse is Siege Perilous. The run we are looking at is from race number 38 in the monsoon season, where Siege Perilous was racing in 7th spot for most while, eventually finished on 7th, and it was noted after the race that Siege Perilous was trotting lame, the mount of H. Arul. Number 5 is Redoubtable. Had 3 stars during the monsoon season. This season in race number 24 was in a forward position as they entered the last 250 meters, then really started to retire home, eventually finished on 7th of 7 runners. The winner here was Chopin. Redoubtable, the mount of Kritish Bhagat. Number 6 is Watch My Stride. Came down from Hyderabad at a start during the monsoon season. This was in race number 19, where Watch My Stride was in 7th spot after being a little slowly out of the gates, and eventually made up a placing and eventually finished on 6th of 11 runners. The winner here was Flying Scotsman. Watch My Stride, the mount of Mohit Singh today. Number 8 is White Roses. White Roses reeled off a hat trick in the last winter season. After that, had a placed effort in race number 87. Couple of stars during the monsoon season. Was 4th in race number 38. Last start was a little slowly out of the gates. White Roses in race number 48. Took the turn in 6th spot and eventually finished on 6th. White Roses today, the mount of Akshay Kumar. We move on to the 5th race in today's card, the first classic of the season, the Calcutta 1000 Guineas Grade 3 2024 for Indian fillies 3-year-old only, to be run over a distance of about 1600 meters. First up, we're looking at Donna Sienna. Speaking of which, out of Ladona, a start in this season in race number 12, where Donna Sienna was in 4th spot, then came up with a run, but Aeropoli was already about a distance clear, and Donna Sienna did the next best thing, finished on 2nd, the mount of Anthony Raj S. We got 3 runners, which is from race number 10, Dubai Princess, which is definitely an eye catcher. She went on a start to finish mission and eventually had 6 1/4 lengths to spare. Dubai Princess, the mount of A. Sandesh. Finley, who came down from southern India, and she definitely needed this run. She was traveling in 4th for most while, eventually came out and finished on 3rd. And Forest Fragrance, who's been running some credible races, definitely needed this run. Forest Fragrance was in 3rd spot for most while, eventually finished on 4th. Forest Fragrance, the mount of Hindu Singh. Finley, the mount of P. Trevor. And Dubai Princess, ridden by A. Sandesh. Number 5 is Lady Sunshine, Sir Cecil out of Sunshine Girl. And Lady Sunshine, 3 stars during the monsoon season. 2nd in race number 12. 5th in the Phillies Trial Stakes, and in the Derby she practically left all her chances at the gate, but eventually came out and finished on the board 4th after being in tailed off last. The mount of S. Lane is Lady Sunshine. Number 6 is Natural Grace. Natural Grace, 6 starts so far, 4 wins, couple of second placed effort, including this start, the one we are looking at. This is from the Phillies Trial Stakes, where Natural Grace was chasing Frahila all through the Calcutta Straight and eventually staved off the other 3 runners to finish on 2nd. The mount of Akshay Kumar is Natural Grace. Number 7, Skyforce, 2 stars, 2 wins. It's Fiero Odava Tonka. Skyforce is going to be the force to reckon with. Last start was in race number 9. She went on a start to finish mission, and in the end she had about a distance to spare. Today the mount of Suraj Naridu is Skyforce. Finally, number 8, Frahila, Western Aristocrat out of Nickel Chrome. 4 wins back to back. Then she blotted her textbook in race number 11 where she was under the weather and eventually finished on third. She is fit and well. She should definitely bounce back with a big run here, the Mount of Yashnaridu. Moving on to the sixth and last race of the day, the Star Team Handicap for horses weight 41 to 66, weight 21 to 46, eligible to be run over a distance of about 1400 meters. First up, we are looking at three runners. This is from race number 66. We had Raffaello. Raffaello was racing in 8th spot for most while, then made up a few placings and eventually finished on 5th. Raffaello, the Mount of Yashnaridu. Number 4 is True Faith. True Faith had a win earlier, start in race number 30. Over here, True Faith was in 2nd spot, then eventually finished on 4th. And Tucson, who was racing in 12th spot, made up a placing and eventually finished on 11th. The winner here was Nautica. Number 2 is Dubai Gold. Dubai Gold is from race number 20, was racing in 9th spot, then came up with a run, eventually finished on 7th of 12 runners. This was over 1100 meters, and Dubai Gold, the Mount of HR. Couple of runners. Number 3, Prince Abir. Number 6, Rumel. Prince Abir, this was from race number 25 where Prince Abir was in 6th spot, eventually finished on 6th. Number 6, Rumel, who was racing in 7th spot, then really started to flourish late in the day, eventually finished on 3rd. The winner here was Norwegian Wood, who had a ding-dong battle with Mysterious Stranger and just came on top. Number 7 is Star Justice. 3 runs during the monsoon season, all unplaced, and last start is race number 51 where Star Justice raced in 11th spot for most while but came wide in the scene, as you can see in the top of your screen in the red cap, and eventually finished on 5th. The winner here was Fancy Nancy. Star Justice, the Mount of Arman Khan. Number 10 is Golden Light. Had a start during the current season in race number 10 where Golden Light was travelling in 5th spot, weaved a passage towards the inside, eventually came out and finished on 2nd, best of the rest behind Dubai Princess. Golden Light, the Mount of Akshay Kumar. Number 12 is Pleroma. Pleroma had a start in race number 8 where it took the turn in 2nd spot, then into the last 200 meters started to back paddle, eventually finished on 6th. The winner here was all-time legend who won the race by a length and 3/4. Pleroma, today the Mount of S. Sakleen. Number 13 is Salome. The start is from the monsoon season where Salome had a couple of starts in race number 30, finished on 7th. In this start is from race number 58, was in 5th spot as Salome and eventually finished on 4th. The winner here was Wonderful. Salome, again the Mount of Hindu Singh. So that's the lineup for the day and the first classic of the season. I hope you have a great day. Thank you for watching and good luck.